What's up, YouTube? I'm Robert, and you're watching the B1KER Bar Podcast.
That's one of the things that I try to really focus on in my channel is like practical bikes.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot of flack for calling the GT Sensor a budget bike. And you know what? That's actually a valid point. At the time, it was $1,900 for the bike. That is not chump change.
Yeah.
That's not. That's a lot of money, especially right now.
But it's 25% of what some bikes cost. You know,
exactly.
so.
Like, you know, relatively speaking, full suspension bikes are not cheap because you can get a $1,200 full suspension bike. Diamondback, I think, sells one around that price. But man, it is bare bones. It is so bare bones. It is like single pivot, very basic linkage. All the components on it are bottom of the barrel. Like it's fun to think about a bike like that, but I would never recommend it to anyone.
Yeah.
I would rather them take $1,200 and get an amazing hardtail.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I tell people when they have a small budget like that, I'm like, either go hardtail or commit to getting something used and be all right with getting something that's got some scratches on it. But it's gonna be a way better bike than what you're looking at right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Although, you know what? I also get a lot of flack for this. For new riders, I do not recommend used. Unless you have a friend that could really help walk you through the process.
Yeah, I can see that. You could end up with garbage.
Yeah, if you don't, there have been so many people that have told horror stories and people that, you know, are pretty savvy when it comes to it, but they didn't realize that like there was this horror story happening inside the bottom bracket. And they're like, oh God, there's like all this corrosion and there's a crack and there's like a lot of stuff you can miss.
Yeah.
When I sold my Yeti, like I went top to bottom with that thing to make sure that it was probably in the best shape that it had ever been for me to sell it. Like I didn't take that good care of it compared to what I did to make sure it was good. Like I got the bearings and the wheel set redone. I completely stripped down the linkage and rebuilt it. I had the frame checked over top to bottom because I did not want to be that person that sold a crap bike.
Yeah, I'm like, I sprayed that thing off with a hose, man.
What's that?
If I'm selling a bike, I'm like, I sprayed that thing off with a hose, man.
Yeah, but yeah, like I always get nervous when you go on Reddit and someone asks like, hey, you know, I'm looking at a bike in this budget. What should I buy? Oh, buy used. Like that's such a blanket statement. You have no idea the experience they have. You know, idea what the market's like there.
I've seen some buddies get hammered on that too, where they bought a used bike and then it was like an older Specialized and they had some funky shock that they only did for themselves. And in order to get it serviced, nobody does that anymore. You got to send it to some Yahoo out in like the backwoods of Oregon and he'll get it back to you in a few weeks. And, you know, it was like, oh, that sucks. You know,
that's actually why. So here's a little secret. You know, that Schwinn Axum that I recently reviewed, the Walmart bike.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got that email and I saw it was from Schwinn, I laughed because I was like, there's no way I'm reviewing a piece of shit Schwinn.
Yeah.
Like I would never have said that to their face because like at first I was like, no, that's not worth anyone's time.
I'm better than that.
But I clicked on it, I'm looking at it, and I started looking at the photos. I was like, those are all standard parts.
Yeah.
Like, is that a tapered head tube?
Yeah.
That's a threaded bottom bracket. And wait a minute, hold on. There might be something here. And like, you know, I looked at the email for a couple days and then I was like, oh my God, this is actually a really good bike. Like, you know, it's still very entry level. I wouldn't take it down a double black diamond and, you know, send it to flat. But for someone that just wants to get the bare minimum but good bike, that actually was a really good deal. And the reason why is because since it used standard parts, like with your buddy that got screwed over on the proprietary shock, you can walk into any bike shop with a broken derailleur, bad cranks, bad shifter, and they're going to be able to pull something off the shelf and replace it. That is a huge benefit for a new rider because it takes away a lot of the frustrations.
If you like that, make sure you check out the full episode. And hey, do me a favor, before you take off, hit the like and subscribe.